turn in a good 7-inning start.
We'll see if that happens here today. It's our Budweiser What's on Tap. What's on tap? It's Carlos Martinez, the young, hard-throwing right-hander. His career against Milwaukee has been very good. He toes the rubber this afternoon.
Yellowwood bringing the lumber. How about yesterday? Brandon Moss with home run number 9. He'll bat 5th today. We're in Miller Park in Milwaukee. Let's turn to our Kubota power stats. And with those 9 home runs, he's tied for the team lead with Matt Carpenter. Holiday with 8. 3 players tied with 7. It's Memorial Day, a beautiful afternoon. Baseball comes your way next. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light Live, by Chevrolet. Visit your local Mid-America Chevy dealer for great prices on the all-new 2016 Malibu. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. There's a place in this country that knows how to tailgate. It's right here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And along with the Cardinals Hall of Famer here in the booth, Jim Edmonds, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Jim Hayes downstairs. 77 degrees. Sun is shining brightly and a beautiful day for baseball. Matt Carpenter will lead it off. He's 0 for his last 8, followed by Aledmys Diaz. Matt Holliday, 3 hits yesterday in the final game against Washington. Matt Adams will bat cleanup, followed by Brandon Moss, then Yadier Molina, Randall Grichuk, Colton Wong, and Carlos Martinez. Junior Guerra, 31-year-old, making his 6th start of the season, first ever against the St. Louis Cardinals. Nice crowd on hand, a lot of red in the seats. Many Cardinal fans here on Memorial Day as the first pitch is taken for a ball. We're underway. And once again, congratulations to Matt and Mackenzie Carpenter. Brand new baby girl over the weekend. Kind of puts things in perspective for a player, does it not?
It sure does. It's one of those things that until you have that situation come up in your family, you think baseball is the only thing in your life, and definitely changes the way you go about your business every day.
2 balls and 1 strike. A native of Venezuela, this pitcher came up as a catcher in the Braves minor league system, was a .213 hitter, then converted to a pitcher. As Carpenter greets him with a base hit into right center. Milwaukee defensively here this afternoon. Alex Presley is in left field. Kirk Neuenhuis is in center. Ramon Flores is in right. Perez, VR, Jeanette, and Carter along the infield. Jonathan Lucroy is behind the plate. There's Craig Counsell, longtime Major League Baseball player, grew up in this area. Dad worked for the Milwaukee Brewers, and now he's their skipper. Here's Aledmys Diaz. Came off the bench yesterday and pinch hit. Lays down a bunt. It's a beauty. Perez, no play. And the first two have reached.
That's a great bunt right there by Diaz. Not really a sack, obviously. And I think at third base, you got to really respect his power. It's kind of a running joke around the league, but third base is a spot where the ball can really get on you in a hurry. And you play a little bit back, and here you see the bunt. It's pretty much a perfect bunt. But either way you look at that, if he throws him out at first base, you got a man on second base, and now you got a base hit. But I think sometimes when you go into a ballpark like this, it's a day game, new ballpark, new series. Getting that first inning going with some base runners and some movement gets that team gets you rallied a little bit and gets you moving. It's just like you got to wake up, and that's two guys on the first two hitters. I think that's pretty important.
And now it's Holiday. He had 3 hits yesterday. Twice he went to right field against Steven Strasburg. And a breaking ball drops in for a strike. Average has moved up to 246. Second on the club with the 8 home runs. And he's driven in 26. The first two have reached, and here's an 0-1 pitch to Holiday. Good cut. Well, you can imagine if you're a former catcher slash outfielder now pitching, it's going to take some time to get to the big leagues. And Junior Guerra is pitched with the Wichita Wingnuts in independent baseball. He's pitched in the Mexican League, the Braves, the Mets, the White Sox, and now the Brewers, even pitched over in Italy. So he has been all over the place.
Can't beat determination, because you got to be determined. If you're going to play in that many different places, you got to really want to get here.
His last start was against the Atlanta Braves. Took a no decision against the Braves. That was a 3-2 Brewers win, which he went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits. And clearly Milwaukee in a rebuild mode. Here's a 1-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He features a slider, mixes in the split finger, and a fastball that can reach 93, 94 miles an hour.
Danny got drafted in 2001. Didn't make his big league debut until 2015.
In relief with the White Sox.
It's a long trip.
Oh, man. It's a lot of bus rides. Late nights.
A lot of off-season workouts.
The 2-2. Would you think about putting runners in motion? I know it'd be very aggressive to do that with nobody out, but you're talking about trying to set the tone in this series. You think about it.
I think if I had the chance to be in the locker room and see how everyone was feeling and kind of get a better read on the pitcher, then maybe, but I don't know right now.
3-2 pitch, and Holiday strikes out. Again, it would be unusual to do that. What does he feature? It's the Hyundai pitch arsenal: fastball, split finger, the curve, and the slider. Well, Matt Adams is swinging maybe the hottest bat in this lineup. What have you seen from Matt here to get him going?
Well, I think that you've just been watching him over the course of the last couple of weeks and just slowly getting more playing time and been driving the ball the other way. His swing doesn't look as big. A lot of times it's like when you really got to shorten up. I think the hardest thing for a player, learning how to deal with the power that you have without trying to do too much. And I think a lot of times when we see guys swing at bad pitches, it's only because they're trying to do too much and trying to get out in front of the ball. He knows that he can hit the ball all over the ballpark now, and he's had a little success this year. So hopefully that just keeps carrying over and he gets better and better with it.
It seems like he's in hitters counts. You know, beginning of the year was always 0-1 or 2-1. And now he's in hitters counts, and you see he's 8 for his last 14 with a couple of home runs, and he's driven in 7.
The biggest thing for young players is just being ready to hit the first pitch if it's a strike.
Adams bounces it towards second, backhanded by Jeanette. Throw to first, not in time as the big man gets down the line to extend the inning.
That's good hustle by Matt Adams right there. Even though it's the first inning and it's pretty much almost a routine ground ball double play, he jumps out of the box and gets moving and runs hard the whole way and beats this out. It's one of those things. It's kind of the unwritten rule that you run hard, you get a chance to stay out there for a little bit. You never know what the next guy's going to do. And now you put Brennan Moss in a situation where one good swing is a 3-run homer.
Brewers taking a long look at that play. They had an issue with replay this past series that they had with Cincinnati, and a lot of frustration with it. A couple of calls that did not go their way. It's been well documented and talked about here in Milwaukee as Adams looks to be safe. Very close at first base, but give Adams credit. He beats it out. And as Jimmy said, extends the inning to Brandon Moss, and he easily could make it 3-0. Strike one. Teams are only hitting .208 against this right-hander. The Brewers are 5-0 in his 5 starts. The 9th home run of the season hit by Moss yesterday. 0-1 pitch. Who has the advantage the first time facing a pitcher, especially a guy that you don't have a lot of video on?
Well, in this case, I think you see right here with the fastball is pretty straight, but so it really doesn't make that big of a difference to me. You want to see what he's got, but if it's straight, that's one thing. When you see a lot of movement out of guys, that's when it's tough to face a guy for the first time. You just don't know where the ball's going to end up.
94 on that fastball.
I was going to say, it says on the home scoreboard here 95, and that's the one thing too. You can never really mimic velocity in the broom when you're watching TV, watching the videos in the video room. You just hope that you can get a little feedback, kind of get a feel for what it looks like when you're in the on-deck circle and be ready to go. But talk about this all year long. Some guys that don't throw hard, that are sneaky or tougher to pick up than guys that throw hard. But there's also a few guys that throw hard that are sneaky and tough to see also.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Brandon Moss. Runners at the corners. Just saw on that graphic, the Cardinals with 69 home runs as a team, just 2 back of the Mets. Mets playing host in interleague play to the White Sox today at Citi Field. Not sure we saw that coming out of spring training, all the power the Cardinals have had.
It's been a great story so far.
Sure has. The 2-2 pitch. Strikeout of Moss. 2 in the inning. Cardinals strand 2. Carlos Martinez to the mound when we come back.
Growing up a star athlete in St. Louis, Dan Reardon was always rooting for his beloved Cardinals. After graduating from college, Dan became a tank commander in the U.S. Army and was known for placing a 2006 World Series bumper sticker on his tank. But in 2007, Daniel's life was cut short by an IED blast. Fox Sports honors Lieutenant Daniel Reardon.
Beautiful day, Memorial Day here in Milwaukee. Lieutenant Dan Reardon attended Vianney High School, which is where I went to school in St. Louis, and believe me, is such a highly regarded young man and family, and they do an awful lot for the high school and raising money and awareness. Had the chance to visit with his mom and dad multiple times. Great people. And you can go online and they have a number of fundraisers to benefit kids that are in high school less fortunate to go to Vianney. Here's Jonathan VR, leadoff man with 18 stolen bases this year. He's done a very nice job at the top of their lineup. 307, couple of home runs. He's driven in 19. When you think about Carlos Martinez, I look at his control as to why he's not had success here in the month of May. He's also had occasionally the big inning that gets to him, but his walks are way up here in this month, nearly 5 per 9 innings. He strikes out VR.
The thing I've noticed with Carlos is we watched and we talked about how he starts the game in 92 to 94 and then gets a little frustrated and gets behind in 97, 98 when he needs it. But the one thing that I've noticed that I think is the trouble spot with him is when he sometimes tries to change gears, it's hard for you to just turn it up a notch without some kind of different mechanics. And I think that's when, you know, he loses a little bit because it's not pinpoint, because he's changing everything that he's doing out there in between innings. And try to look for him to be more consistent with velocity and just wind up.
Led by Diaz and a wide throw, but Adams stays on the bag. Very good play by Aledmys Diaz. A look at the Brewers lineup following VR and now Jeanette. It's Jonathan Lucroy. Chris Carter has 13 home runs. Kirk Neuenhuis, Alex Presley, Hernan Perez, Ramon Flores, and the pitcher Guerra. Funny hop here off the side of the pitcher's mound and had to change direction on Diaz.
Yeah, he saw a little bounce off the little angle on the mound and kind of bounced towards the shortstop. Might have been a tougher play if it would have hit the back of the mound and went straight.
You notice with Diaz when he comes in on a ball just how well he is fielding the baseball now.
Yeah, he just looks so much more comfortable. I think too, and early on when you make a few errors, you get a little scared, you get a little jittery, and just don't really want to keep going out there and having tough plays. And it really is just a feel, you know. It's you know how it is. I mean, you mess up a few times in any situation, it's just like you kind of get a little bit on your heels and then it keeps going. It just takes a couple of days of having some good defensive plays and a little bit more comfortable each day and not having to worry about, oh, if I make an error I'm going to lose my job. And you can see how he's just progressively getting better and better each day.
1 ball, 1 strike with 2 outs and nobody on for Jonathan Lucroy. Breaks his bat, slowly hit left side. Carpenter makes the play. And a nice easy 1-2-3 inning for Carlos Martinez. No score after 1. in Milwaukee, and we turn to Jim Edmonds, Toyota, key to the game.
Well, as we talk about it, just trying to handle the unknown of seeing a pitcher for the first time. You saw that a couple guys jumped on him early, and then he kind of turned it up a notch, and 95 is not anything to take for granted. So just really going out there, seeing some pitches, and then being aggressive when the ball's in the strike zone. Try to deal with what you just don't know. Maybe rely a little bit on feedback from the first couple hitters in the lineup.
Here's Yadier Molina. Back on May 3rd against the Angels, Guerra made his Milwaukee debut and became the third oldest pitcher in franchise history to earn his first major league win. Only Mike DeFelice and Tony Fossis were older than Junior Guerra. And Fossis, you may remember, pitched 3 years with the Cardinals in the mid-1990s. He pitched until he was 41 years young. Finished up with the Yankees. Tony Fossis signed an extension with the Cardinals, and he said, Dan, I'm happy, my wife's happy, even my dog Scrappy is happy. I'll never forget when he said that. He was so excited about signing an extension.
Who isn't happy signing an extension these days?
And his point was that he didn't even expect to be in the big leagues, but he was a true lefty specialist. Here's a 2-2 pitch to Molina. That's spoiled. Yachty had the day off in Game 4 against the Nationals yesterday afternoon and gets the start here. It'll be a night game tomorrow, and they'll wrap it up the road trip on Wednesday with a day game here in Milwaukee. At some point, the shadows do become a factor in day games here. As they creep towards home plate and then out towards the mound.
If I remember correctly, I think it's more or less later in the season. For some reason, the sun just changes the angle, and it really gets tough here later in the year. But we said earlier in the broadcast, it's a beautiful day. This is the most amazing day in Milwaukee for this time of the year that you could ask for. Usually nice and cold and cool until probably mid-June, almost July.
2-2 pitch. You were telling me before the game, and for fans that maybe had forgotten, you played here briefly and you really enjoyed your time here.
Loved it here. It was a pleasant surprise. Good fan base, great city, good ballpark. It's a good place to hit. You know, some days the windows are open and the roof's closed and the ball gets sucked out of the infield, and it's like there's a launching pad when it warms up. It's great.
3-2 pitch is a fly ball into shallow right. Ramon Flores puts it away for the out.
Very good baseball city. Good place to play, like I said, but I really enjoy just the overall atmosphere of this ballpark. And if you're winning, which 2010 we had a pretty decent team, but they enjoy it. It's like a little miniature St. Louis. You know, it's like the people are into the game and things are going well. People keep coming out and they're respectful and knowledgeable fans. And only when the Cardinals and Cubs are in town can you see this huge sea of red over here behind third base. Cubs will have a little bit of fan base here too, but other than that, it's a lot of fun.
They said that earlier this year they probably had 30,000 Cub fans here for a ball game against the Brewers. As we talked about, fans here, they know ownership has come out. They've said, look, we're rebuilding, but stay with us. They made a ton of trades at the end of last season and during the offseason. 18 new members on their 40-man roster. That's an incredible overhaul.
Switch it up, try to build. Their owner, Mark Antanasio, is an amazing guy, very personable.
Richard grounds back to Guerra for out number 2. You can follow the Cardinals live with the MLB.com @bat app. Stay up to the moment at any moment with game day, live game video, highlights, StatCast, news, and more. #1 app for live baseball on your phone or tablet. Here's Colton Wong. The Cardinals were hoping to activate Johnny Peralta by Friday night when San Francisco gets to town. And then at that point, a lot of options coming up for Mike Matheny. One of those options that you could see would be Matt Carpenter going to second base. Here's a 2-0 pitch. And unfortunately, Johnny cut his hand opening up a box, and he has stitches on the hand. And we all remember what Mike Matheny went through back in 2000 with a hunting knife, and that cost him the 2000 postseason. 3-1.
Yeah, you notice it's been really quiet about what's going to happen when Johnny comes back, because you just never know when and if he does come back. I mean, you can't kind of discourage someone else that's in that position and move them before it's time to be moved.
Cardinals go in order midway through 2, and there's no score. Bottom of the second, let's check in with Jim Hayes.
Dan, Matt Carpenter is known as a cool customer, someone who is calm under pressure. Carpenter admitted that wasn't the case Wednesday night as he and his wife Mackenzie welcomed their first child, baby Kinley. Carpenter told me he was totally nervous, saying, quote, "I'm definitely more comfortable with a game-winning run at second than in the delivery room." He told me baby Kinley will be a much-needed positive distraction because, as he put it, he's a guy who puts a lot of his mental focus on baseball, and it can be a grind. As for who gets up at 3 a.m. when Kinley is crying, Matt or Mackenzie, Matt just said, "We have a plan."
That's smoked out to left field. Holiday over to cut it off the bat of Carter, and a throw comes back into the infield quickly. Nice play by Holiday. Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers Cardinals defense. Holiday, you see pictured there. He's in left. Gritchick is in center. And Piscotty is in right. Carpenter, Diaz, Wong, and Adams on the infield. And Molina is behind the plate. Chris Carter came over as a free agent. A lot of power. 103 home runs since the start of 2013. And it brings in the former Met, Kurt Neuenhuis. The shift is on here for Neuenhuis. We've seen him a bunch in spring training as the Mets and Cardinals face each other time and again. Mets in Port St. Lucie, the Cardinals in Jupiter.
Talked about that play with Holiday going in the gap. Nice play, but one thing I'll look for today is the footing in the outfield.
Here's a ground ball. Can they turn two? Wong the tag, and a first. A tag there by Adams. It's a double play.
Not tailor-made.
And you don't see that very often with two tags like that.
For two pretty good plays right there by Colton and Matt Adams, but you see how he has to go and tag the runner, and then the throw kind of takes Matt up the line. Good thing he didn't get his arm in the way of the runner there. But what I was saying earlier about the footing is sometimes early in the year it doesn't warm up here, and because of the weather, the grass out there stays really moist and wet, and it's your footing, it kind of just comes up really easy. See the tag here.
I'm not sure Wong had another option other than going for the tag, because the shift was on for Neuenhuis, and the defender on the left side of the infield had a long way to go to the bag at second. You could get the lead man, but probably not a double play.
Yeah, I think it obviously made the right choice there, and like you said, I think that was his only chance.
The Hyundai pitch arsenal for hard-throwing Carlos Martinez. Fastball, slider, curve, and change. And the 0-2 pitch. Slapped the other way for a base hit.
You see Carlos a little frustrated right here. 0-2 count. Probably just didn't throw a good enough pitch right there. You really don't want to float that breaking ball in there with 2 strikes. That's the ball you want to really bury. We've been talking about that slider at the back foot, or kind of want it to go around the plate. You really don't want to throw a good strike 0-2, and I think he was just a little upset of himself.
Brings in the third baseman, Hernan Perez. Brought up back on April 28th. Took the roster spot of the then injured Scooter Gennett. What about Angel Hernandez? You think he's in position to make a call? That's as close as you'll see an umpire get to the bag.
A lot of trust in your first baseman right there. You'll normally see the first base coach standing there with the signs and then move out of the way, well clear of any throw that could be made. Angel Hernandez is taking life in his own hands right here with Martinez throwing the ball to first base as hard as he does.
There's the 0-1 pitch from Carlos Martinez. Good breaking ball. And a swing and a miss. And Martinez picks up his second strikeout of the afternoon. We played 2 on Memorial Day, and there's no score. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Ford, the official cars and trucks of the St. Louis Cardinals. And brought to you by the Missouri Tobacco Quit Line. Call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. Pitcher's spot, Carlos Martinez at the top of the lineup here in Milwaukee. Matt Carpenter and Aledmys Diaz. First pitch is fouled back. Minute to minute, swing by swing, pitch by pitch. You never know what to expect from Carlos Martinez.
I was going to say, he probably gives Matheny fits. Trying to figure him out, trying to keep him healthy, trying to keep him on track. After a swing like that, trying to keep him from getting hurt.
1 ball, 1 strike. Martinez this year 4 for 18. Does have 4 RBIs. Cardinals staff led by Adam Wainwright has been one of the best in terms of their pitchers doing some damage.
You know, the thing about Carlos is that guys in the locker room say he's probably one of the best athletes on the field and one of the quickest and most durable athletes out there. So I guess you just let him do what he does.
Little trot down the line this time by Martinez. He's put away by Jonathan VR. 1 away. And it brings in Carpenter, who singled into center field. It is amazing what, in addition to a family, your first, how it changes your focus with players at this level, which a guy like, as Jim said, Carpenter grinds through every single moment of the 7 months of the rigors of a season.
Yeah, the stress of baseball isn't as important all of a sudden, or the grind isn't as tough because you know that there's something else to either look forward to, take care of. It just totally changes the whole complexion of your life.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Carpenter. He snapped in 0 for 8 with that base hit back in the first inning, then was left stranded. Brewers using a shift here against Carpenter. Outfield is straight away. Here we are, baseball, America's pastime, as we play on Memorial Day. Bob Fellers, Stan the Man, Ted Williams, Warren Spahn, all interrupted their careers to serve our country. There were 12 major leaguers that lost their lives in military service. 2-2. So now they shift again with VR, the shortstop, going back to his natural position. The third baseman, Perez, near the bag at second.
Like a double shift.
Yep.
We got the early shift and the late shift.
And a foul ball.
You can see right there, talking about familiar pitchers or pitches, and last 2 balls that look like they were split fingers and something you haven't seen out of him yet. And so, especially on the inside half of the plate, and I have to get used to just seeing a different look from coming out of a different pitcher's hands. I mean, everybody has the pitch that you could throw. Everybody could throw the same pitch, and every individual, it's totally different. And just when you worry about that split, and he threw it twice and kind of didn't see it real well, he comes back with 94. And pretty easy, it looks like.
Yeah. 3 balls, 2 strikes on Carpenter. Reaches for it, and a base hit into right field. He's 2 for 2.
See the difference between not really expecting to see the split, and then now you know he has it. Now you know to kind of look for it. Kind of slow down a little bit, get a good look at one, and balls up in the zone, took a good swing.
Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks. Boy, he takes some odd swings, doesn't he? And has good results.
Big difference between that split finger being down and especially in, and then up and out over the plate. You have a little bit longer to decide if you want to swing at it or not.
There's Diaz, who bunted his way on first time up. Rips that one foul. The BJC Healthcare difference maker, Aledmys Diaz, ranks among shortstops. Not only do you talk about Rookie of the Year after 2 months, but also a potential appearance in the Midsummer Classic for Diaz. We're getting down to that time. You start thinking about All-Star.
Definitely something you can look forward to if he keeps up like this.
Wouldn't that be something? A player that wasn't even supposed to be up with the Cardinals. And if you missed it over the weekend, the Cardinals designated Ruben Tejada for assignment, so 10 days to decide his immediate future. And then, as we talked about, Johnny Peralta is getting healthier by the day and will join the club, you would have to expect, in the next week to 10 days. Greg Garcia made quite an impression over the weekend. Slowly hit left side, charging Perez, bare hands, and throws it away. Carpenter advancing to third. So that's a base hit, and it looks like it'll be an error on Perez.
Just swing and bunt this time, and a do-or-die play by the third baseman. And when the play was live, I thought, wow, what a good play. He picked it clean, got it into the right spot of his hand to throw it, and just kind of just tailed away from the first baseman. Talk about the shadows and worried about the throw coming from first base. I think more or less when he looked up to see where the first baseman was, you see two people standing over there in the dark. Could be the opposite, more or less picking up the first baseman than it is for the first baseman to pick up the throw coming from third.
So runners at the corners, and a chance here for Holiday with one down. Holiday puts the Cardinals on top. Off the glove of Perez into left field, and it's 1-0 St. Louis on RBI number 27 for Matt Holiday.
How about seeing guys first time around, then second time around, look like a hanging split a little bit in off the plate. Just hit it right through the glove.
And it brings in Matt Adams. Runners at first and second. And the first pitch, a breaking ball, drops in for a strike. Adams grounded into a fielder's choice. First time up. Ball off the bat of Holiday. Had to be around 100, 105 miles per hour. The ball was scorched.
We talked about in the first inning with giving the players a little bit of respect, not getting too close to third base. And then you get the bunt, you get the swinging bunt. And then you have a guy like Holiday that almost hit the ball right through your glove. So not a fun position certain days. Dealing with the shadows a little bit in the background.
In the air, opposite way. Presley is back. He is at the wall. It's off the wall. One run will score. That's Diaz. Holiday stops at third. And the big man picks up the double and RBI to make it 2-0 Cardinals.
You asked earlier about why Matt Adams is creeping up. Such a good place to hit. You can see the ball carried a little bit further than you expected, but going the other way with a ball that's down the middle and not trying to pull it. You try to pull that ball, you roll over, hit a ground ball to second base. Staying inside the ball and driving it in the air, so much more successful that way than if you're just trying to yank everything. And that's why Matt Adams is having some success right now. He's been really good at hitting the ball the other way and hitting the ball up the middle.
So runners at second and third here in the top of the third. Already a 2-0 lead, and it brings in Moss, who struck out to end the top of the first. One thing that Milwaukee has done here in the month of May, they have really pitched well. When April ended, the Brewers were 8-15 at the bottom of the division, allowing 6 runs per game. 15-12 here in May, and they're under 4 runs per game. The infield is drawn in here for Moss. They've had 4 straight quality starts coming into play today. And 3 of the 4 have gone at least 7 1/3. The 0-1 pitch to Brandon Moss. Fouled back.
See, so far right now, it looks like the game plan with Moss is just to challenge him up and in with fastballs, knowing that he likes to swing hard, knowing that a home run hitter has a hard time laying off a fastball up in the zone, especially inside if you're a pull hitter.
A lot of teams really approach him up and in. We see that a lot.
Really hard to get to the ball that's inside and up. It's a little different if it's outside and up, because at least if it's away and up, you can kind of flick at it and foul it off. It kind of ball in on the inner half. It's a do or die. It's hit or miss when you're swinging at that pitch. You're either going to hit it or you're not. I mean, there's no in between. There's no chance to flip it ball and send it into the seats for a foul ball.
1-2. Now 2-2. Four consecutive hits for the Cardinals. The 2-2 pitch to Moss. And he got him, but the ball scoots away. Here comes Holiday. He'll score. 3-0 St. Louis.
Yeah, take a look at that play right there. Just like Lucroy didn't even realize that the ball was going to get down. He just whiffed it. Sometimes you see a catcher try and block that. I really think that he didn't realize that it was going to get that down that low, and then Moss swinging at it probably got a little bit of distraction. I think a ball that you really need to, you have to, oh, there's a man on third, so I was going to say, you really have to block that ball somehow.
Absolutely.
I was going to go, you got to really try, but no, you have to block the ball somehow. You got to make sure that ball doesn't give to the backstop.
So Moss, he's at first. Adams at third base. And again, for those that don't know, maybe our younger fans, first base occupied. Moss would be in the dugout, but instead it's Moss at first base with a strikeout. Run does score. That's Holiday on the wild pitch to make it 3-0. And the 1-0 to Yadier Molina. On the ground is short. And it's a double play. 6-4-3 on the double play. Cardinals, and Holiday's line drive, we wondered how hard he hit it. It was 102.5 off the bat.
Take a good look at this pitch right here. It's watching Matt Holliday, but also in the pitch. You can see the hot zone, the tornado zone, so to speak. But Matt Holliday gets this split-fingered fastball up in the zone and way in off the plate. But if you watch his hands, he stays inside the ball so well. That's why he goes to right field so much. But look at this right here in his hands. Inside, bat back, and keeps his hand, pulls his hands inside. So instead of trying to yank the ball and throw your hands out in front of it and the ball comes in, that's why you see the bats explode all the time. Keep your hands in, pull the barrel in, and you can see he crushes the ball 102.3 miles an hour off the bat. That's, what was that ball, 2-3 inches inside?
You know, it's amazing too, and I agree with you. It's about where the hands go, his strength, bat speed. I mean, all that plays into all of a sudden a base hit for Holliday.
The key to it all too is literally those hands. You bring those hands inside the ball. That allows you to move the barrel around a little bit when the ball's inside, and one, foul off a tough pitch. Two, stay on tough pitches, not get jammed where your bat's exploding, which you see every now and then. But just the key to hitting all the way around. You're trying to get the bat out in front of a pitch, and you have to really cheat a little bit more, and it's all about time. The longer you can wait to swing the bat and the more you can stay behind the ball, the better chance you have of recognizing a pitch and then doing something with it. If you're just really swinging, you have to be perfect timing, and then you really got to just, the bat's got to be at the right place at the right time.
On a 1-2, it's hit to short. Diaz up the line and safe. It's that play right there that David Bell has talked about it with us. The routine play to Diaz, where they're asking him to let it go as if it's going to be a very close play at first base. Don't take it for granted. Let it fly with your arm. And he's got a very strong arm.
Well, you see a lot of guys around the league. Sean Dunston, but even closer to home, Scott Rowland, get up on top of his toes and throw the ball. You can see right there, he's just flipping at it. Knows he has plenty of time. That's just something he's going to need to learn how to get through. And it's like I said, Scott Rowland would, no matter what the circumstances were, when he picked up the ball, he set his feet and threw a bullet to first base every time.
It's very tough to tell with those two replays as to whether or not the tag was there. So the Cardinals will not ask for a challenge. It'll be the 12th error on Aledmys Diaz. So Flores is aboard. It brings in Junior Guerra, who is the pitcher who has sacrificed one time this year. Bunts it in the air and foul. So all the things that have gone right for Diaz, it's been the routine plays that have caught up with him with the majority of the errors.
You know, like I said, it's just something he's going to have to just make the adjustment and really throw the ball over there.
The bunt is down. Martinez will go to first for the out. Second sacrifice for Guerra. In honor of Memorial Day, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with emerging vets and players dedicated to ensuring our nation's warriors can be as productive off the field as they were on it by joining combat veterans with former athletes to form a common bond over dedication and teamwork. Visit foxsportsupports.com to learn more.
You know, Danny, talking about that play at short, it's really no different than when we talk about with the pitchers. If the rhythm of your body is doing one thing and your arm's doing something else, you're not going to throw the ball where you want to throw it. I don't care what kind of an athlete you are or how many days you've been out there in a row. Literally, when your feet hit the ground and your step is going forward, your arm's got to be going forward at the same time. And if that elbow drops and your feet are already on the ground, your body drags and the ball just tails.
And the Cardinals have said to Diaz, don't baby it, let it go.
And that's just being young and just trying to be relaxed out there, a little bit too relaxed, and maybe trying to pull back a little bit in your workload, which is, the workload is what gets it done, and you just got to really learn to throw the ball over there. No more simpler than that.
Flores back safely at second base. First man in scoring position for the Brewers today. Top of the lineup, Jonathan Villar. He struck out swinging back in the first inning. Brewers here at home as a team batting .263 on the road. It's barely over .220. There's a strike, 2-1.
And going back to that same thing, not to beat it over the head, but it's another thing about Jose Oquendo. Jose Oquendo would address that, and it would be comfortable for those two in Spanish to get through that, and he would be out there working with them every day. Where, you know, David Bell's new, they kind of don't know each other that well, and you say something and then you kind of back off. Where I think, like I said, that comfort zone of those Latin players with Oquendo is just, there's something to be said for that. And you see why the defenses have always been good over the years, and especially those Latin players, they get that work, and it's so important to just stay on top of that day in and day out.
So important too, as you mentioned, the word comfort. That's about the language barrier, being able to express what needs to be done from Jose Oquendo. The 2-2 pitch just missed.
And the thing with David Bell being semi-new, not knowing, you know, how far to take it. Do you yell? Do you not yell? Do you baby the kids? Do you have to talk to Mike Matheny first? And that also is a little bit different too.
And it's a walk. So the tying run will come to the plate. The air, a sacrifice, a walk. And I mentioned this earlier, how the Cardinals are a little concerned about the walks with Martinez, but also about the propensity, at least recently, for the big inning. Air is made, so what? You've got to bear down and pitch through it.
Well, that's part of just the importance of just staying connected with your body and really not trying to take an inning off or cruise through an inning because you get ahead. The intensity level's got to stay the same. And that keeps everything going in the same direction, so you don't just let up for one hitter and then you lose him really quick because your arm slot's different. Just like we talked about it short, your body's quick, your arm's slow, vice versa. You're trying to take a hitter off. You just can't do that in the big leagues. And see what happens if you give up a walk. Next player can hit a ball in the gap, and next thing you know, 2 runs have scored.
1 out, runners at first and second. And the 0-1 to Scooter Gennett. Little flare that Carpenter can't get to. Great effort. Oh, 0-2 the count. Just out of his reach.
Yeah, you see Carp going after this ball and sitting up here at this angle. The first thing I think of is be careful.
Yeah.
You know, you see that's an awkward position, and he's going to have to lunge and right at the dirt and grass line. Important part of your lineup. You want to say, hey, take it easy.
It's too important.
You hear guys yelling out of the dugout, be careful.
Well, you'd think with a base hit to left or right, Milwaukee would certainly be aggressive with the arms of Holiday and Brandon Moss. Piscotty not in the starting lineup today. 0-2 pitch. Foul ball. Well, I mentioned it, the shadows, and they do become a factor in day games here at this ballpark, and now they are across the batter's box, edging closer to the pitcher's mound. Would you rather it just get to the pitcher's mound if you're a hitter?
I'd rather them just close up the top.
Yeah.
This is, like I said, when I played here in 2010, it was cold all the beginning of the year, and so we didn't really have a shadow problem. I was very surprised how non-factor it was, and then you see here it's a nice day and it's a factor the first time we talk about it.
Slapped foul into the camera well. Stays 0-2.
Cloudy days are good here when the roof is open.
Summers are nice here.
Summers are nice, but when you're playing a day game, I'd rather have a little bit of clouds. Keep that shadow as minimal as possible, pretty important to hit if you can't, if you just to be able to see. I think that a lot of the hitters you talk to would rather have the dome closed or a nice cloudy day. Have the sun come out after you go home.
Time is granted. It frustrates Martinez. I believe it was Yadier Molina, though, that asked for the timeout. Yadi out to visit, and I wonder if he's going to express that to Martinez. Hey, I'm the guy that did this. Settle in. Watch the umpire here, and that's Lance Barksdale.
Yadi doesn't look too happy here. You can tell in his eyes that he sees something he doesn't like. Carlos had his back turned too fast to see who called the timeout. So Yadi doing what Yadi does. He goes out there and tries to let him know, hey, need to relax. It's my call. Try to keep him in order.
Runners at first and second. And it's another 0-2 pitch from Carlos Martinez. Ooh, Carlos wanted that one. One-two pitch. Missed again. 2-2. Jonathan Lucroy is on deck. Cardinals start today 9.5 back of Chicago. Milwaukee is 12 out. And Cincinnati only 16 wins this year. They're 19 games out. They'll be at Colorado later today. Fly ball into shallow left center field. Grichuk with the catch. Well, Jonathan Lucroy joined Hall of Famer Robin Yount as the only players in franchise history with 3 consecutive 3 RBI games. He's now up to 26. Robin Yount spent 2 months in the minor leagues. That was it. And then advanced to the major leagues at the age of 18. His number retired here, number 19. He was the 3rd overall pick back in 1973, just 1 slot ahead of Dave Winfield. When the Cardinals won the World Series in 1982, Yount was the MVP of the American League. Also was a Gold Glover, well over 200 hits. Runners at first and second. Robin Yount, a shortstop and a center fielder. What a great player.
One of the most underrated great players, I believe, in this game.
Probably because, and I agree with you, you play here, it's not a major media market, and it was one time that they were featured in postseason play with a very good 1982 team. Harvey's Wallbangers. They could hit.
It was cold in that old ballpark.
Yes. The 2-0 pitch. Hit him on his hands. Good pitch. 2-1. We talked about the Reds only 16 wins. How about the Atlanta Braves at home? They are 4-21. They are on pace to have the worst home record in the history of baseball.
We're past the quarter way.
I mean, now you start to think about it when you're, 25-30% into the season. The St. Louis Browns had a record of 18-59. That's the worst home record in the history of the game back in 1939.
Takes a lot of the fun out of playing at home.
I would say so. They're not winning a lot on the road either. A long year with the Atlanta Braves. 2-2 the count here on Lucroy. Long look by Martinez. Hit out of play. A lot of talk in the offseason as to whether or not Lucroy would stay with the Milwaukee Brewers. That is constant chatter right now. And the hottest name out in the market, according to reports, is Ryan Braun, who is not in the lineup for Milwaukee here today. Now, he has a very close relationship with ownership here with the Brewers, but the baseball sense, you probably could really speed up your rebuild if that's what you want to do by getting rid of Ryan Braun and getting some top prospects. A little bit high, 3-2. There's a look at Braun.
Been battling injuries. I was laughing the other day. I talked to someone and said he's getting a little bit older. Come to find out he's 31 still. He's not even 32 years old. I thought, he can't be that old, but you know, he's always had a tough time with his back and some wrist injuries, and tweaked his neck the other day. So it'd be tough, you know. Nowadays, your body gets older before its time, and not really as valuable as he used to be.
Strikeout of Lucroy. He knew it. A 3-2 breaking ball from Martinez. And the Brewers strand 2. Strikeout number 3 from Carlos Martinez. We play 3. And it's a 3-0 St. Louis lead on Memorial Day. And Jim Edmonds, Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Beautiful day here in Milwaukee. 77 degrees as we get a look at our game summary. 3-0 St. Louis. Carlos Martinez is through 3 unscathed. Matt Adams 1 for 2 with a double off the wall in left. And Guerra has given up 3 runs, the starter for Milwaukee. 7, 8, and 9 for the Cardinals. And this is Randal Grichuk. Bounce back to Guerra, first time up. Starting to see Grichuk go the other way.
Those couple of home runs at home and ball hit hard into right field a couple times. Give you that feel and that little smack in the face like, oh yeah, we can do this. So I've just noticed a lot of swing and misses on some bad breaking balls where he's just going to have to get to the point where when he can recognize it, he can just lay off of it, get him to buy himself another pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And a swing and a miss and a strikeout of Grichuk, number 4 today. This summer, don't miss the Cardinals Alumni Kids Clinics presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors, coming to a ball field near you. These one-day clinics teach boys and girls ages 7 to 13 baseball fundamentals from former Cardinal greats. Register your child now at cardinals.com/clinics. Here's Colton Long, who lined out his first time up and taps the first pitch foul. So in your time here in Milwaukee, did you ever head out to Lake Michigan and maybe do a little fishing with Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker?
No, we actually never got a chance to go out on the lake. Like I said, it didn't warm up here until almost July, if not middle of July. And I was surprised. This city is really quiet during the early months of spring and like early summer, and there's really not a lot of movement until the weather gets a little bit better. And it's like one day you wake up and it's 80 degrees and it's a whole new city. There's all people everywhere walking on the beach. But Bob, you see right there, couldn't be a better person to be around, and he's in the locker room every day and he's out there fishing. But I asked him today when I saw him, I said, still swimming? He said, every day but Sunday.
That's great. And
But
he would
he's in
do
there.
that in the clubhouse, right?
Yeah, he goes inside the clubhouse. There's a big swimming machine, a Swimex, and he jumps in the pool in his little Speedo. Whatever he's wearing, I'm kidding, but such a class act. He is such a class act. And I would bring my son Landon into the locker room, and he would come over there and sit down with him and talk to him, and he's just a pleasure to have him around the ballpark. And when you're in uniform down there, he makes you feel like one of the guys, like just right away.
Second strikeout of the inning, 5 today for Junior Guerra. Took some off this pitch, the Chevy Fox Tracks.
See another good split. This is where the shadows really hurt you, is the breaking ball. Not so much the curve ball, but that's kind of the tight slider in the split, because you can't really see the spin as crisp as you would in the sun. And
Martinez on the first pitch, pops it up, and a 1-2-3, top of the fourth for Junior Guerra. 3-0 St. Louis. The beautiful afternoon from Milwaukee. Six innings yesterday, 4 hits. With more on that, let's check in with Jim.
Dan, the Cardinals starting rotation looks like it may be getting back on track. Carlos pitching well today. You mentioned Wacha had been scuffling, but turned in a quality start in D.C. yesterday. He told me it felt like he took a big step forward with that start. He said, quote, I was locating much better down in the zone. It was a good start to build off of. And Dan, he said his work between starts helped get a few mechanical issues straightened out. And Dan, it was obviously a nice outing for a guy who is such a huge part of the starting rotation.
There's no doubt. And also Jim Edmonds, we have seen Adam Wainwright get back on track. Cardinals have won his last 5 starts. So Derek Lilliquist has seen the rotation get a little bit better here last 5 to 7 games.
It's a funny thing about baseball is just you can go out there for a month at a time and not feel right, and then either one pitch or one swing can change everything.
High fly ball, deep left field. Holiday back near the wall, and he's got it up against the wall for the out off the bat of Carter. The 36-year-old banging up against that wall, and let's hope he's all right. Carter was vying for home run number 14 as Holiday's bent over and coughing. You just wonder if the wind got knocked out of him.
That wall's tough no matter how many times you hit it, what kind of angle you hit it at. You're just never really ready for it. And I think people don't realize that when you're moving and everything's moving and you hit something you're not expected to, it kind of jolts you a little bit. You can see right here, thought he had another, maybe a step or two. It's just, it's not pleasant, trust me.
And a fastball, then a strike at 95 to Kirk Nieuwenhuis. See Holiday still bent over. Nieuwenhuis grounded into a double play first time up. Good changeup. Martinez, as you know, Jimmy, really can sell that changeup because of his motion, and that pitch had a lot of movement too.
He's got great movement, just has to keep it all together. Like that, you can see he's got a little extra to reach back and get it, but everything's got to stay together with his windup in order to make it effective and throw a strike. It was 98 up at your face isn't really the pitch that he's wanting to throw. And I told you those guys used to laugh back in the day, Chris Carpenter and Matt Morris, and they would yell out of the dugout NCP. It's a non-competitive pitch. Basically, it was a running joke, but just trying to do too much or just a waste of a pitch.
And Chris Carpenter headed to the Cardinals Hall of Fame. So you look at the speed range. He's hit 99 today, a low 84.
It's got to be something special to just the first inning. He looked like he was so relaxed, and we've seen that in him. And he comes out and throws 92, 93, but today he did the same thing, came out throwing 94, 95, and it's got to be so nice to have that in your arsenal, just kind of playing catch at 94, no big deal.
It's easy for him.
Yeah, and then I'm going to hump up right here and hit 99.
Right. Start earlier this year at Dodger Stadium, hit 101 on their gun, the 3-2 pitch. Took some off it.
I think the biggest problem with players with his caliber of talent is when everything is always easy, it's very hard to hunker down and get serious, because you know at any given time you just go out there and kind of have fun with it and you throw a 99. Problem is, at this level, everybody knows that he's really good, so they make you work a little bit harder. They take more pitches. They don't swing at as many balls. They can hit 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. So when you get to this level, you really have to just work on your intangibles as far as like staying focused more or less and keeping your rhythm the same and really making everything look exactly the same every day.
0-2 on Alex Presley.
I mean, you can see he's out there right now. He's really kind of just playing around with whoever, and one ball flies off the table, sinks, another ball runs out of the zone. He's got 99 up high. He's got nasty changeup, a really good curveball, and he's really just, he's like a kid out there. He's really just playing around like he's in Little League.
But that pitch, 99 with run.
And I mean, you can see the windup speeds up, and I think as a hitter, when you see that, you know you're in trouble.
Yep.
You just hope that he's going to throw it up and away, especially to a lefty.
1-2 pitch. Misses in. You know, to further your point, too, about Martinez, you know, in the minor leagues, some of these guys are blessed with these great arms, and minor league hitters may not hit 95 to 100. But up here, you have to pitch.
You're going to, yeah. Everyone up here can hit 95 to 100. And you can see right here, he's kind of fooling around with his windup.
And Carlos thought he had strike 3. That will not endear himself to Lance Barksdale.
See a good pitch right here. This is throws it right where he wants it, barely in, away from Yadi's glove, and you got to hope sometimes you get that pitch. Trying to sell it. You can see right here also with the way that Alex is swinging the bat, he's just trying to go easy, because the harder you work as a hitter, the slower your bat ends up being, and you're just really trying to foul pitches off that you can't get to. The shadows are there, so you already back off a little bit. Really good at bat right there.
Charged by Diaz, and he flips it over to Adams for the out. We enter the 5th, top of the lineup coming up. Lineup have gone 6 for 8 against Junior Guerra. So let's see what happens now, 3rd time through. It's Carpenter, Diaz, and Holiday. First pitch taken for a ball. We're underway here in inning number 5. And Carpenter drives it into the gap in right center field, and it's off the base of the wall. Flores quickly back into the infield as Carpenter picks up his 13th double of the year. And Matt is busted out of this 0 for 8 with a 3 for 3 afternoon.
Gets a hanging slider, it looks like, right there up in the zone. Looks a little lower on the Fox tracks than I think it is, but hammers the ball to right center field off the wall. And you're right, those last couple of days with the 0 for 8 take a couple of days to get over the, I'm going to go with the shock of having a child, also with the joy of having a child. It'll settle back into normalcy.
I definitely think it's the shock.
I'm going to go with the shock.
After a few months, okay, now it's joy, but initially it's shock. Oh my goodness, what have we done?
What was that?
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Aledmys Diaz. Diaz pops it up. Out of play. Sunshine part of the ballpark. That's right behind the Cardinal dugout. All those fans.
Right there. You know, the thing for me is I always laughed in bringing the kids home is first-time parents is basically after 2 or 3 days in the hospital, they basically just say, okay, go get them. And you put the kid in the car and you're thinking to yourself, okay, well, now what? Like, there's no instruction manual. There's nobody telling you what to do. And it's not like they really get you ready for the first couple days.
All the 9 months of planning. As Diaz pulls it foul. I remember it vividly.
They give you more instructions when you get a brand new car than they do when you bring home a child.
Good luck. Have fun.
Get out of our hospital.
Yeah. Diaz, 2 infield hits, bunted his way on back in the first. And then it was a swinging bunt and a run scored in the third, as he also caused Perez to throw wide to first base, gave him an error. Cardinals made it a 3-run inning. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Diaz. Popped up to the right side. This may drop, and it will.
Another good bounce for the fans.
We will get, over the years, Jimmy, a foul ball in this booth here in Milwaukee. It will happen. You will break your hand probably, but you'll be so excited that you've caught your first souvenir as a broadcaster. It'll be all worth it.
I can't wait. I don't know about the hand braking part, but I'm up here next to you, dancing around. I'm getting out of the way.
No, you won't.
This is another great booth, though. I heard that Washington was a little high. I heard you say that
just a little.
After a while, the first time you had a ball come up that high in a while.
Yep, that was yesterday. Eye level. Here's a 1-2.
Good swing.
He's so balanced at the plate. You just don't see him overmatched a lot of times or out in front.
He stays back. He really does a good job of staying back, and you can see some of the balls that he just pops up are just him being a little too quick on the breaking ball, not being able to stay back as far as the tempo of his swing and being able to drive the ball to right center field. When he starts doing that, he's going to be dangerous, and that's kind of the ball right there I'm talking about.
Lucroy out of room.
He has such a short swing through the zone that it's really a lot of his hits are going to be to center field, to left field, and they start pitching you with the breaking ball. You really got to start to stay inside the ball and trying to stay back and actually drive the ball into center field and right center field, give you more of a contact zone on the barrel, and you can't be quick all the time.
1-2 the count on Diaz. Runner at second is Matt Carpenter with a leadoff double. Here's a 1-2 pitch again to Aledmys Diaz. In the dirt, gets away, and advancing, it's Carpenter.
Tough play for Jonathan Lucroy right here. You can see how short that slider was, and with that overspin, it really accelerates off the dirt and kind of kicks off to the right, hits the side of his body. This really did a pretty good job there. Just nothing you can do when it gets that kind of a hop, especially when it bounces that far in front of the plate.
Infield drawn in, second wild pitch, charge to Guerra. The 2-2. Diaz puts it in play to short. VR across the diamond, staying put. Carpenter at third. Cardinals, Fox Sports, and the state of Missouri teaming up to help you stop smoking. For more information, call the quit line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW. It's got to be frustrating for Diaz. Hit the ball on the button. With the infield drawn in, right to the shortstop, nobody out. Carpenter not taking any chances.
Yeah, taking advantage of that guy standing on third with nobody out is frustrating, and not getting it done. It's probably one of the easiest things to do. You try to overthink it, and it doesn't happen.
Watch out. Holiday, his second RBI. A rocket hit up the middle, and that scores Matt Carpenter to make it 4-0.
Then you have to wait till the next guy get it done.
Guerra is lucky that wasn't off his arm or his body somewhere. I mean, that ball was a rocket. The second hit by Holiday today.
Whew. And you can see right there the shadows are making it a little bit tougher. As we talked about the shadows are one thing, but they don't really do too much with the fastball. It's the split-fingered fastball that you end up having a little trouble seeing. Obviously, Matt saw that fastball pretty well.
I don't know if you remember what I was saying earlier. I feel that Holiday is about ready to bust out.
You did say that earlier.
He had 2 really good at-bats against Strasburg yesterday, taking the ball to right with 2 strikes. He seems to be getting a little bit more locked in as we go along here. What do you watch for when a guy is locked in? Even though he might be making outs, when do you know that, uh-oh, this guy's starting to swing the bat well?
Just body position at the contact zone, not lunging, not check swinging, balls in the dirt, balls that are bouncing, sliders, balance, and even just your outs are hard. You know, you start seeing guys hit hard ground balls to the shortstop and the second baseman, line drives in the outfield. You can tell when they just miss a fly ball, even though if it just goes straight up. You can see the contact area on the bat is right around the barrel.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Adams.
I remember when we were playing in the World Series and Sean Casey was like 0 for 6 and saw him foul a couple balls off, lined a ball to first, hit a ball to second base hard, then he hit a long fly ball to right field. And I said after the game to Yachty, I said, hey, you got to be careful with Sean Casey. He's about to get hot. And he said, yeah. And I said, no, I'm not kidding. And then the next day, I think he got 3 hits with a homer. And the next day, a couple hits after that.
That's well hit out to center field. Neuenhuis back at the wall, and he makes the catch. Terrific play, Kirk Neuenhuis, as he robs Adams. Mentioned earlier, we saw him with the Mets an awful lot. He would be a late inning replacement because of plays like this. He's a very good defender.
You see him going back on this ball. It's a pretty good jump, but in a direct route, right where he needs to be, and knows exactly where the wall is. Knowing where the wall is and not being afraid of it is key. It's just when you go up for that ball, you want to kind of have an idea when you're going to hit that wall. And if it hits you a little early, jar the ball out of your glove or jar you and not even catch the ball.
So here is Moss against the shift. Were you one of those guys that once you hit the track, you knew, you counted steps or had an idea of once that first step was on the track, how much room you had?
You know what's funny is I always heard that growing up, and I always thought that that's a really good plan, but
right.
I never even felt the track. I just always looked back at the wall and knew where I was at on the field. And to be honest with you, I can't remember ever even stepping on the track and hearing that noise until the play's been made and you're walking off and you realize, oh yeah, the cleats are in the dirt. But same thing with diving. You go back on a ball and you have to dive in the gap or going back, and you just don't even think about the track or the wall. It's just, you know where you're at on the field.
That is a very good play by Neuenhuis.
You should know where you're at on the field, by the way. Some people, not so much.
1-2 the count on Moss. He's had a tough afternoon. Stephen Piscotty, a late scratch, stomach virus, maybe food poisoning. Cardinals aren't sure, so is taken out of the lineup and Moss inserted into right field. Hopefully nothing serious with Stephen. Short lead at first by Holiday and a 1-2 pitch.
Hopefully he can get rewarded with a homer. It's not a bad day. Get thrown in there last second. Have a nice day.
Don't think. Just go play. A 4-0 lead here in the top of the 5th. The 2-2 pitch to Moss.
It's a good split right there.
Number 6 is Holiday. Adds to the Cardinal lead with his second RBI. Its second hit of the day. Greater coverage of Major League Baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Clayton Kershaw, ridiculous 21 strikeout ratio to walks. See, the Kansas City Royals have had a couple of very big comeback wins, and the Yankees came back against the Rays yesterday and won 2-1 on a home run by Starlin Castro. Clayton Kershaw, 105 strikeouts to 5 walks. And a breaking ball misses outside to Perez, the 7th place hitter for Milwaukee.
I think if I remember correctly, Greg Maddux had about the All-Star break. He didn't have a single walk all year at that point, but he didn't have the strikeouts to go along with it.
Kershaw at 21, the strikeout to walk ratio. The next closest is Noah Syndergaard, and he's just above 8. It's amazing. Perez struck out back in the 2nd. Martinez with 4 today. He has walked 1. It's almost as if these 4 pitches this inning, I'm not sure you would agree, but he's really trying to focus on slowing down. Stay compact in his delivery. Very deliberate. You could see that coming as he whips it in at 97.
And that's what we were talking about right there. He's just nice and smooth and throwing some good pitches, and then when he's trying to reach back, he totally changes everything and kind of just throws it as hard as he can.
Ground ball up the middle. Diaz can't get there. Off his glove and into shallow center field. First base hit for the Brewers since back in the 2nd. New for 2016, don't miss Coca-Cola Sundays. Fans can enjoy Sunday home games in select seats for a special low price. And each ticket includes a free Coke and Hunter hot dog. They start at just $10. Get yours today at cardinals.com/Coca-Cola.
I think the thing for Carlos Martinez is 4 or 5 pitches into that at bat, he's like, okay, maybe I'll just let him hit a ground ball and get an easy out, and then get a ground ball up the middle, makes a tricky hop, bounces into the outfield. Now you got a guy in first, and you think to yourself, why am I doing that? And so that is another mind game that he's got to play with as far as allowing people to put the ball in play and rely on his defense.
Double play ball. A flip to Wong, and the Cardinals turn their 2nd double play. Positioned perfectly was Diaz up the middle, and a double play off the bat of Ramon Flores.
And that's right there why you take that chance. Make another pitch, go at it again. Don't worry about the guy who you gave the hit up to, the hitter before, and go back out there and try 1 pitch to get 2 outs.
Junior Guerra, the pitcher, looks at a fastball low. Pulls it to Carpenter, and he comes up with it. Tremendous catch by Carpenter down at 3rd. Miller Park. The paneling beyond left and right field is open. The roof is open. Sun is shining bright. About 80 degrees. And the Cardinals have themselves a 4-0 lead as we play on Memorial Day. Reminder that if you can't watch the games on television, you can download the app, Fox Sports Go. Download it now and watch the Cardinals wherever you go. It'll be Yadier Molina, Randall Grichuk, and Colton Wong for the Cardinals against Junior Guerra. Spent all of 2014 pitching in Italy. And last year he signed as a free agent with the White Sox. Split time between AA Birmingham and AAA Charlotte. Molina has bounced into a double play and also fly to right. And Yadi did not like that call. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's been the top of the lineup that's done the damage here today for the Cardinals. Carpenter is 3 for 3. Diaz 2 for 3. Holiday, couple of hits, 2 RBIs. Matt Adams with an RBI double. And Molina sends this one out to deep center field. Neuenhuis is back in front of the track to make the catch. Don't miss the chance to relive one of the best moments in Cardinals history. Saturday, June 4th, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older receive an Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina dual bobblehead commemorating the last out of the '06 World Series. It's presented by Central Bank of St. Louis, and tickets are available at cardinals.com/promotions. In steps Randall Grichuk. 0 for 2 today.
That's the pitch right there we were talking about earlier. I'd just like to see him be able to recognize and not try to get out in front of. Shadows today aren't too good for that situation, but just got to try and figure out a way to lay off a slider that's not a strike.
And a ground ball that's hit left side, taken there by Perez. And Grichuk is hitless today, 0 for 3, and it brings in Colton Wong. Wong has lined out to second and struck out. The Cardinals under Mike Matheny 25-10 at this ballpark. They have won 9 consecutive series on the road here at Miller Park. And well on their way to taking game 1 of this 3-game series. To relive one of the best moments in Cardinals history, June 4th, 30,000 fans ages 16 and older will take home the 2006 World Championship replica trophy. That's this Friday with the Giants in town. My understanding, Jeff Samardzija, Johnny Cueto scheduled to pitch in that series, and the Giants, one of the teams to beat in the National League. Here's Jonathan Villar, home half of the 6th, with the Cardinals leading by the score of 4-0. Villar is struck out and also walked. Little tapper out in front of the mound. The athleticism of Martinez can't come up with that play. And it's a leadoff base hit. Molina looked a little upset, as if he wanted Martinez to get out of the way, and it's probably the only way that they get an out.
Yeah, it's a tough play right here. I think Carlos trying to catch that ball or pick up that ball on the run, and he was going to be going across the runner and trying to make that throw. I don't know if that's going to be a play that he's going to be able to make, no matter how athletic he is, but kind of in no man's land. I think Yadi was just mad because sometimes when you make the right pitch and you realize the guy's going to get on base, it's kind of frustrating.
Now you have the game within the game. Molina, one of the top throwers behind the plate. Villar, 18 stolen bases at first base, check swing and a strike. What is it about your former teammate that makes him so good in these spots?
Well, he just doesn't panic. He always catches the ball and then throws it on the money, and that's the key. It's just don't rush, don't do anything different. Do what you do and catch the ball first, throw the ball on the money, and then with a little bit of something on it.
There's a high fly ball lifted into right center field. Pritchett calls off Moss, makes the catch.
It's really not that tough to do what he does. He just does it better than everyone else because he does it right all the time. It's not here and there. Whenever he gets a good pitch, he catches the ball under control. He's got his body underneath him, and then obviously he does have a great arm, but the catch and release is so important. But he throws the ball on the money. Sometimes he doesn't throw it as hard. Kind of the throw will take him off balance, but he throws the ball around the bag the majority of the time.
Here's Jonathan Lucroy, just 4 hits today for the Milwaukee Brewers. Cardinals have turned 2 double plays.
Don't get me wrong, it's not like I'm saying it's not that hard. It's just it's a very simple process when you do it with good technique, and he is actually a really good athlete for a catcher. So you can see what I mean by being athletic is he's always got his body underneath him. He's got his feet in position, and he can adjust on the fly, but just basically catching the ball and releasing it as quick as possible.
1 ball, 1 strike. What are the times that you've talked about numerous occasions that you're looking for, from the ball to the catcher's glove, but from Martinez starting the delivery to the plate to the back of Molina's mitt? What are you looking for?
Well, if I have Yadi catching, I'm looking for at least 1.3.
Base hit. Diaz was playing towards the bag at second, and Lucroy is aboard, and it brings up Chris Carter.
And the thing with Martinez pitching is right there, he's a 1.2, even on not really a hard fastball. I don't know if that's a slider, but those are the things you're looking for. And he does a pretty good job of releasing the ball with, quickly to the plate. And here, see, it's a changeup, and he was still below 1.3 with a changeup, which is amazing. So as a runner, it doesn't matter if he's 1-2, 1-3, whatever. As soon as you see the number down, you're not running against Yadi.
Here is Carter, and he could put Milwaukee right back in this game. He is singled to left and then hit a fly ball out to left. The catch was made by Holiday up against the wall. Leads their club in home runs with 13, but just 122 is average with runners in scoring position. The 0-1. Now 0-2.
See, Carter earlier, hitting the fastball pretty well. Sometimes when you see a guy that doesn't really hit with runners in scoring position, is a guy that really doesn't make the adjustment on the breaking ball or the slider. He's more of a fastball hitter, and he gets really geared up. A lot of times when you're a bigger guy and you get runners in scoring position, you're not going to see a whole lot of fastballs.
Cardinals 0-5 in his last 5 starts, trying to change that here today. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Carter. Got him. Exactly what you're talking about. Strikeout number 5 for Carlos Martinez.
Really good slider right here. This is the 2-strike slider that you want. It's down close to a strike, but out of the zone at the end of the pitch, and yeah, really nothing you can do with that. The best thing you can do to that is just not swing at it. And I think the thing we talked about earlier too is being a home run hitter, you always want to think that you're going to get a pitch to drive. Sometimes it's hard to back off a little bit and work on just hitting the ball up the middle when there's guys in scoring position.
So far, with runners in scoring position, Milwaukee 0-3. Here's Kirk Neuenhuis. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. And the 0-1. Good fastball in on his hands at 97.
You see right there, he went a little quicker to the plate, under control, and threw a dart at 97 miles an hour, and it literally jumped all over the strike zone with no time to make an adjustment.
What's he come with here on 0-2? The next by Martinez. Struck him out. Pitch up in the zone at 99. 100 on the gun here at the ballpark. On this Memorial Day, USAA honors our fallen soldiers. Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. It is Memorial Day here in Milwaukee. The Cardinals and the Brewers, game 1 of this 3-game series. 76 degrees and a 4-0 lead for St. Louis, as Martinez has been sharp early on with his 6 innings of work. Matt Carpenter 3 for 3. The starter Guerra for Milwaukee, 6 innings, 8 hits. And Jonathan Lucroy is 1 for 3.
Saw that said 76 degrees and mostly cloudy. I was just wondering where most of the clouds are.
It's pretty nice, isn't it?
Yeah. Like I said, it's as good as it gets here in Milwaukee.
This is our Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Martinez, then Carpenter and Diaz. Little check swing and a foul ball. He played here in 2010, 2011. Milwaukee went on a great run, won the division, but then lost to the Cardinals in postseason play as Martinez hits it on a hop to Scooter Gennett. One away. The first series between these two teams, the Cardinals won 2-1 at Busch Stadium. Since the beginning of 2013, the Cardinals have dropped only one series to Milwaukee. That's it for Junior Guerra, top of the lineup. With one out, new pitcher coming in.
Fox Sports honors our fallen warriors. Specialist Jeffrey L. White Jr. was a passionate Cardinals fan who shared his love of the game with his family. In 2011, the day before being deployed to Afghanistan, Jeffrey took his dad to Game 7 of the World Series, where together they watched the Cardinals win the championship. But just 6 months later, Jeffrey was killed in action by an IED blast. Fox Sports honors Specialist Jeffrey L. White Jr.
One out, and it brings in Carpenter. He's 3 for 3 today. Yan Marinez. First pitch, a strike at 95. Brewers tell us he is free and easy and throws hard. Their bullpen ERA is 17th best in all of baseball, 3.81. They've thrown the 7th most innings in baseball. That's it out of play. 2-pitch pitcher, pretty simple. Fastball, slider in the Hyundai pitch arsenal. Junior Guerra, 6 1/3, 4 runs, 8 hits, struck out 6, did not walk a man. Gets the first man here in the 7th. And the top of the lineup had given him fits, so I'm sure that played in part as to why Craig Counsell goes and makes this move.
Yeah, I thought that was unusual, but 100 pitches, maybe pitch count, right at 100. But yeah, you got top 3 guys have had some really good at bats, and if you give up another run here, another 2 runs here in the 7th inning, you're really causing a lot of trouble if you're looking for a comeback. So move on to the bullpen and see if you can't hold him for another 3 innings.
0-2 pitch to Carpenter. Single in the first, single to right, run scored to third. And a double off the base of the wall in right center for Carpenter here today. And the 1-2 pitch on its way. That's driven out to deep right field. Going back Flores, and it is off the wall again. Almost the identical spot of the previous double. He's now up to 14 doubles this year. Matt Carpenter is 4 for 4.
Not a bad day for Carp. Couple of singles, couple of doubles. Now you see even gets the guy out of the bullpen, but the thing he's doing right now is he's hitting strikes, and that ball catches enough of the plate. And nice easy swing with a lot of pop. I didn't think that ball was going to carry as far as it did, and nice that you're so close to the plate here in this booth that you can actually hear the contact off the bat. And that was probably the quietest one of the day, but yet the closest one to being a home run.
Here's Aledmys Diaz. This right-hander has bounced around. He's been with the Marlins, the White Sox, Tigers, Dodgers, Tampa Bay, and he was acquired back on May 13th off of waivers by Milwaukee. And the 1-0 pitch. Diaz 2 for 3 today. Carpenter now 4 for 4. This right-hander last pitched on Saturday against Cincinnati, ending at a third. One ball and 2 strikes. This has been one of those odd years for the Cardinals where they played better on the road than they have at home. Cardinals have been historically, recent history, a terrific home team.
Yeah, it's one of those things you never can put your finger on why the splits are the way they are, but you figure that over time they're going to get better at home or play better baseball at home, and you'd like to see the fact that they're playing well on the road.
It's a third wild pitch charged to this staff of Milwaukee, and Carpenter will try to score. On his way to the plate, he's safe. Scores all the way from second base on a wild pitch to make it 5-0 Cardinals.
Another breaking ball in the dirt, bouncing away from Jonathan Lucroy. Carpenter right here, heads up. Lucroy couldn't find it, and he notices it right here, and he takes a chance. And you can see her at the end, he slides right between the pitcher and the third baseman. Not sure what was going on down there at home plate, but great job by Carp.
The 2-2. Inside to Diaz. Yeah, he was content on just trotting over to third base. 3 wild pitches charged to the Brewers. Strikeout of Diaz. Only his 20th strikeout for Aledmys Diaz this year.
You see Chris Maloney right there. He's telling Carp, don't take a chance. I think the whole thing with that was maybe he gets the third base and still got 1 out and just a fly ball drives in the run. But as a runner there, the play's in front of you. You got to know what you can do and make that decision for yourself. Good shot right there by our camera crew.
So if he's thrown out at the plate, though,
no one else to blame but yourself,
right,
my friend.
So if you make that choice, you better be right. Here's an 0-1 pitch to Holiday, who is 2 hits today. Make it 3 with an exclamation point. Launches that baby. Did it get out of the stadium? Holy smokes. A long home run for Holiday. His 9th home run. That's a team high. His 3rd RBI. And Holiday is starting to get hot. 6-0 Cardinals. Matt Holliday just helped the Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. You're speechless.
That was a bomb.
Man.
Told you it's a good place to hit. I'm still trying to figure out when I can just throw in here that before we went on air and we were sitting here, you said, I have a feeling Holiday's about to go on a tear. And so, 2 singles and a bomb later, it looks like you were seeing something that you liked.
What I really liked was the fact that he went the other way with Strasburg yesterday and a couple of base hits. Just tells you he's staying in and he's on those pitches against a guy that has a nasty slider. Now this ball hit maybe a row or two.
The last row.
Yeah, and I thought it hopped out.
It did. See it right there.
Wow.
A little bit of a walkway up there, I believe, at the very top up there, or that ball is one hopping.
You ever seen a ball get out of here?
So to speak. Yeah, quite a few. I've seen a few balls hit up there by that slide and gone through the window. See a little breeze blowing with those flags, but that doesn't really change the direction of the ball too much. This place can. Some home runs can be hit in this ballpark with everything open.
Oh, 0-2 the count on Adams.
If I'm not mistaken, wasn't it Matt Holliday who hit, was it last year or the year before, when he hit the middle of the scoreboard? Like up there by the Pepsi sign?
Yeah. Measured at 466 feet. And a ground ball slowly hit to the right side, and Adams is the 3rd and final out. On this Memorial Day, we'll stay right here for the singing of God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for God Bless America, led by Bob Kozlowski from the Brewers Guest Services.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Brewers fans, it's time to
3 base hits for Holiday today, and the last one at 105.7. And this is our Nissan drive of the game. Man, oh man. Whew. Good breaking ball, and we're underway here in the bottom of the 7th. Carlos Martinez with 6 strikeouts. Jeremy Hazelbaker takes over for Holiday in left. Cardinals have been doing that more and more. You know, trying to figure out times to buy time, if you will, with Holiday and give him a little bit of rest. Those innings do pile up over 6 months.
Yeah, it's something that this whole organization is working on right now, is the rest factor and the fatigue factor with the players, and find out when and why certain guys get tired at certain times of the year. And they have little information packets, so to speak, little iPads checked in here and there. But I think it's a great thing they're doing. They're trying to really figure out how to get maximum effort out of their players every day and try to back off when they're a little tired.
There's strikeout number 7, 3 in a row for Carlos Martinez. June 18th, celebrate your furry friend and take home a Cardinals pet leash holder with photo frame, compliments of Nestle Purina. They're available to 30,000 pet lovers ages 16 and older. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. This has to be a little bit of a relief for Derek Lilliquist and Mike Matheny to see what they've got now to back-to-back starts. Waka yesterday and Martinez here today.
Definitely, there's always room for improvement, especially when they haven't been as comfortable as they would like to see it. The guys aren't really comfortable the way they've been throwing, so little bits of improvement each time they go out there. And like I said, sometimes it's one pitch or one inning and something clicks, and the game goes by fast when you're out there. So a couple starts can go by without really being able to make adjustments because just really no time.
Carpenter backs up on the play, high throw, and safe. Really was in between as to whether or not to come in or back up. Went with the latter, and it does not pay off.
Called the in-between hop for a reason. To the big bounce, but yet come up and short hop that ball, and anything can happen. So he tries to lay back, and then it just makes it a tougher throw for him. So many of those plays on the infield are just basically do or die, that you can't call do or die, but every play is pretty much do or die, because if you, any ball that you charge, you never know the hop you're going to get.
Carpenter is charged with the air. That's his 8th this season. 2nd by the Cardinals today.
Try to play yourself into a good hop, and sometimes there's no such thing.
Isn't that the truth? You see that all the time. 0-1 pitch. How are you enjoying this broadcasting gig?
It's good. I like it.
You digging it?
Yeah. What a great view from here.
We can always get you nice views. I want you to have fun.
But it's nice to be able to watch a game, talk to you, and then not have to sign autographs and get bothered.
But I know you. I've seen you sign hundreds, if not thousands, of autographs.
It's not the autographs that bother me. It's taking a game sometimes in the stands, and right around that 5th inning, it seems to be the Bud Light has been flowing for a while, and all of a sudden, you're everybody's best friend. And
I got you.
It's not even the problem. It's just a little aggressive on the pats on the back sometimes. The pats on the back get a little heavier as the game goes along.
Broken bat. Out at second, on to first, and they turn 2. 4-6-3 on the double play. The 3rd double play turned by the Cardinals, and the 2nd off the bat of Flores. days until Harvey starts again. We're in the 8th inning, and John Mabry, his club, in terms of the hitters, have done an awful lot today. David Goforth is the new pitcher. And this is our Chevy Cole to the pen. Numbers on Goforth this year: 6th appearance. We'll get Moss, Molina, and Grichuk. Tough afternoon for Brandon Moss. He's 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. Goforth, the 3rd pitcher used by Milwaukee. Ureñas 2/3 of an inning, 6 1/3 by the starter Guerra. This right-hander last pitched on Saturday against the Reds. Retired his only batter that he faced. That was Billy Hamilton, and stranded 2. He was at Colorado Springs, AAA, their affiliate. 13 games there. Gave up 19 hits, 8 runs, and just over 18 innings of work. I would imagine, though, if you're pitching at Colorado Springs, your numbers are going to be so inflated. You've got to go off of what your coaches are saying, scouts. Take the numbers and throw that out the window.
Just like Las Vegas, we talked about that earlier this year. Hitter's ballpark like that, you definitely got to have to elevate the numbers a little bit and just take it how it comes. And you also can go on the splits and then what kind of person you are, and like you said, rely on the coaching staff to figure out what you're all about as far as how your numbers would really look in a normal ballpark, because it's not fun pitching in some of those ballparks.
All the damage has been done by the first 4 in this lineup. Cardinals with 10 hits, and that's from Carpenter, Diaz, Holiday, and Adams. Nobody else with hits.
Starting to look like it's getting a little tougher to see. A little bit more crisp of a shadow. The thing is that it doesn't matter that the pitcher and the hitter are both in the shade. It's the backdrop is what gives you trouble. The backdrop is lighter than the ball coming at you. You lose the contrast of the ball. You can see right there, it's really not the difference between the pitcher and the hitter. It's more or less what the backdrop looks like, and you can see how bright it is out there in the background. It really takes away that depth perception until that outfield gets back into the shade.
That's hit out of play. You usually don't want golden sombrero attached to your name if you're a hitter.
Nope.
That would be 4 strikeouts in a game, and that's what has happened here with Brandon Moss.
I think Steven Piscotty is going to have to offer up some dinner or something for him for the late addition to the lineup.
That term was brought up in the 1980s. Carmelo Martinez. And it first appeared with Leon Durham of the Cubs back in 1984. Used that in describing a 4 strikeout game. Leon Durham, the ball that got through his legs in 1984 against San Diego.
The bull.
Molina to second. The out. Longest home run was Russell Branyan. He could hit him a long way. He spent some time in St. Louis. 480 feet, left-handed hitter back in 2004. Fielder a couple of times Braun, Weeks, Joey Votto. And today's blast off the bat, a Holiday at 466 feet. Some of the changes for Milwaukee. Keon Broxton is in center field. Nieuwenhuis is in right. There's Randall Grichuk. The crowd today, 34,569. 34569. Grichuk hitless today, over 3 with a strikeout, pair of groundouts. And the 0-1. And the 1-1 pitch. And him out in front. Popped up into shallow left. VR wants it, and he puts it away. Goforth, a scoreless inning. 6-0, midway through 8. Baseball is brought to you by USAA. For those who gave everything that we may breathe free, we honor you. So Carlos Martinez pitching into the bottom of the 8th. Still throwing hard. 95. What do you think? Final inning of work for Carlos here?
96 pitches, 95 pitches. Yeah, I think that it's pretty good. I don't know. It depends. And go for the shutout, the complete game shutout might be important. Maybe it's a teaching tool. See what you really got. Problem is, when you pitch this well, now they can go back to you and say, okay, listen, this is how you're supposed to do it.
Right.
You're capable of doing it, so now you got to do it.
Goodbye. Broxton done. That was quick work for strikeout number 8. Plaza Tire Service replay, and Broxton was frozen. Martinez is due up second for the Cardinals, looking ahead to the 9th inning. Jonathan VR. Good breaking ball, drops in for a strike. Talked to many hitters about the different backdrops in baseball, and many point to this being the one that they like the most here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, I think it's a good place to hit. I really do. I think the shadows are kind of a downgrade, kind of a bummer when you come here in such a beautiful ballpark and you got to deal with the shadows, but just something you got to deal with. I would think it'd make it tougher to be a hitter here over the course of a season.
They love that part right there underneath the Miller Lite sign, that black backdrop.
Yeah, the bigger the better for that. Just nice dark area back there to see for the background.
Fly ball into center. This will be handled by Grichuk. 2 outs. Some of the world's biggest soccer stars converge on the U.S. for the 100th anniversary of the Copa America. All starts as the USA takes on Colombia Friday at 7 on FS1. And you can watch the entire tournament live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Scooter Gennett, who is 0 for 3. It's Mike Leake, Willie Peralta tomorrow. Pitch count at 101 for Carlos Martinez. This may be the at-bat that decides whether or not you bring him back out. If he has a pretty easy 8th inning, send him back out for the 9th. The 1-1 pitch. There's Adams. Fair ball. And now decision time. The lead here in the top of the 9th. Cole Long will lead it off, and then we'll see Greg Garcia. So the afternoon will be through for Carlos Martinez. That'll be it. Shift being put on. Goforth, his 2nd inning of work. There's a look at the line and the tremendous hair of Carlos Martinez.
He seems to be getting lighter every time he pitches. Like he keeps bleaching it again and again.
Wasn't sure if you knew that, Jimmy. That's not natural. It's something he decided to do. And we have no reason as to why. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Wong. The 2-0 pitch to Colton Wong, who is 0 for 3 today. Ground ball, base hit. And that is the first Cardinal hit for any man in this lineup. 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It's been all 1 through 4. It's hard not to like what this guy has done. All he does is hit
and play defense.
No career complete games for Carlos Martinez. Won't get that here today as Garcia pinch hits. Greg was the top pinch hitter for the club a year ago, and he did that with 3 extended stays at Memphis. The play behind Colton Wong with a lead of 6 runs, and there's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's hard to be sent down when you're hitting 600. Cardinals did that. And then it's hard to be better than 600 once you come back up. He did that.
What else do you want me to do?
Right. He's riding a 6-game hitting streak. In his career as a pinch hitter, he's a .355 hitter with 2 home runs in the pinch. And the 2-1 pitch to Greg Garcia. Breaks his bat out to shallow center. Drops in for a hit. Wong to second. Garcia just keeps on hitting. Man.
See, his ball's down and away. Way down and away. And just throws his bat out there. Nice level swing. Hit it off the end of the bat. It's a good thing he hit it off the end of the bat. I was watching their center fielder, and he got an amazing jump on that ball. I thought he was going to come out of the nowhere and catch that.
Carpenter with a 4-for-4 afternoon has raised his average to .258. 2 doubles, 2 singles, 3 runs scored. Here's a 1-0 pitch to Carpenter with 2 runners on. May remember a game a couple of years ago against the Kansas City Royals. It was a great ball game, and Matt Carpenter was 5 for 5 that night. That was at Kauffman Stadium. He has done it once in his career. The 1-1 pitch to Carpenter. Pop back and foul. Ledmus Diaz earlier this year against San Diego back on the 23rd of April, the last 5-hit game for the Cardinals.
That ball almost got up here to us.
Almost. Here's a 1-2 pitch to Carpenter. So trying to make it a 5 for 5 afternoon. Already this year he's had a 6 RBI day. The 2-2. Held on to and a strikeout of Carpenter. So looks like he'll finish 4 for 5. So here's a game where the Cardinals have 12 hits, 6 runs, and yet again 9 strikeouts in their lineup, but yet the 6-0 lead.
Sometimes you're just going to have strikeouts. I don't think that's that big of a deal, especially here at Miller Park with the shadows today. Driving in runs, moving the ball around a little bit, getting a big hit. Those are all the things I'm looking for.
Biggest of those hits, Matt Holliday, home run that left the stadium. That's a big hit. Oh, 2 on Diaz. That's rare. Back-to-back strikeouts of Aledmys Diaz. 2 today. And he is 2 for 5 on the afternoon, and it brings in Jeremy Hazelbaker. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Cardinals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Two on, 2 outs. Hazelbaker took over for Holliday, and Matt had 3 RBIs and a solo home run measured at 466 feet. Oh, 1 pitch by Goforth. Pitched collegiately at Ole Miss. Makes me think of our friend Lance Lynn. Hope he's doing well.
Hotty toddy. You know anything about that?
Hotty toddy.
Hotty toddy.
A football game at Ole Miss is a bucket list type event.
My wife talks so much about it. I think I went there.
I know your wife went to Ole Miss.
Yep.
Oh-2 pitch. Strikeout of Hazelbaker. Non-save situation, but he needs some work, so Trevor Rosenthal comes in for Mike Matheny's club. Cardinals baseball is brought to you by Bud Light. Raise 1-2 right now. stand by, your local Volkswagen dealer. Some of the fans heading for the exits as the Cardinals have opened up a 6-run lead in this game. Game 1 of this 3-game series. This is our Chevy call to the pit. Greg Garcia stays in the game at third base. Made some really nice plays at third base the other night.
Like you said, it's hard to keep him out of the big leagues. The job he's been doing.
Mike Matheny saying that he feels his best position is second base. He can play second, third, short, and has been the option to be your emergency catcher if need be. This is Martin Maldonado. He took over for Lucroy behind the plate. No balls and 2 strikes. Three pitches, sit out. These are one of those games, though, that from a manager's perspective, if you're Mike Matheny, you're thrilled with your offense. You're thrilled with your starter, Carlos Martinez, 8 innings of work, no runs scored. And you're just hoping that your closer is quick. Get through the inning quickly.
That stat we talked about, closers going out there without a save opportunity. Sometimes it's a little different mentality, different approach. Force yourself into getting amped up a little bit and getting out there and making some pitches and getting some work.
Here's a 1-0 pitch to Kreider, taken high. Showed the graphic that Rosenthal is 8 for 9 in save opportunities. Seems like when the Cardinals win, it's by a lot, not a lot of tight games. Hence, not a lot of save opportunities.
It's kind of a fine line for manager and closer. I'm thinking if you want to win big, and then yet you don't get the stats for the closer, but I'll take the big wins any day.
2-2.
A lot of guys aren't really concerned with stats, but it's nice to have some guys in the leaderboard, but I don't think the saves is that category you're really that concerned with.
Last year, a lot of tight games. Offense wasn't nearly at the level that we've seen it this season, so Rosenthal was used a bunch. This is only his 18th appearance of the year. With the strikeout of Maldonado at 16 1/3 innings. That's it this season. I think it makes you wonder if that's what's led his lack of usage to the 12 walks that we've seen this season. Back-to-back strikeouts for Trevor Rosenthal. Our players of the game. Couple of Mats. Carpenter 4 for 5. Holiday 3 for 4 with that monster home run. And Carlos Martinez 8 innings 5 hits. What stood out for you when you watched Carlos Martinez today?
Well, it stands out the most of the guys without the beards in the picture. They look like totally different players. But I thought Carlos did a good job today of just really staying under control. Sometimes I think he floats in and out of what he's trying to do and can kind of really play with what he's doing out on the mound because he is such a good athlete and does have such tremendous stuff. So I like the way that he kind of kept it all together today, and basically an 8-inning 5-hit shutout. Pretty good afternoon for him, and it's a big step in the right direction.
Really just a good start calms everything down.
It really does, and sometimes, like I said, the game goes by so fast, and you'd be in the 6th inning and can't even remember why the 4th inning got out of control. Can't really feel all of what you should be able to understand as the game's going on. A lot of the work comes preparation in between your games and working in the bullpen. And like I said, sometimes your starts get away from you. That's not what you want to see right there. Ball looked like it hit him in the side of the face. But yeah, you just put the finishing touches on a nice 8-inning performance is nice.
Two-on walk. See that reaction of Mike Matheny.
He knows this reaction all too well.
Ball off the mask of Molina.
Oof. That hurts. That's like the loudest noise in your head, in your ears. Sounds like a firecracker going off in your ears. It's loud when you're hitting.
Strike one to Alex Presley. Singled on an 0-2 pitch to left back in the second inning, grounded out to short, and struck out in the seventh. Boy, that's nasty right there. 0-2 the count. Oh-2 pitch. Struck him out, and the Cardinals win it 6-0, and it's win number 27 this year. The Cardinals are 27-25. Milwaukee drops to 23-28.
Pretty good job all the way around, I thought, didn't you? Got offensive game with Carpenter, Holiday, Adams, and then a big day by Carlos Martinez. I think finally showing that if he can stay under control for an 8-inning, 9-inning window, that he's got what it takes to be a big-time starter. So interesting to hear what Mike's going to have to say about Carlos after the game, and look forward to tomorrow night.
So the Cardinals win it, highlighted by this blast that literally left the stadium. Off the bat of Holiday. Post-game show next.